Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Okay guys, well before we start this video, I do want to apologize for two things. Sorry if I'm speaking a little bit lower than I usually do. It's around 4 a.m. in the morning when I'm recording this, and there's people sleeping in the living room and I don't want to wake them up. Because if I talk like my normal self, I talk really loud. Also, if you hear any noise in the background again, it's my AC, and my AC is very loud because it's acting up. I absolutely hate it. But if not, my room gets really hot, so I'm sorry. I'll see if I can manage, or I can get like a fan or anything that makes less noise. But let's go get right back into the video. Okay, today we're gonna be doing something new, something that I want to incorporate to this channel. It's gonna be me telling you stories or experiences that I've had before, and it's gonna be titled Story Time. I've gone to a couple of concerts, so I want to share that with you guys. Today we're gonna be talking about my first and I think the only actual Five Sauce concert that I've been to. The friend that I went with, we really wanted to go see Five Sauce. I bought the tickets. It was like crazy. We're like, we have to go because it's the forum and they're never gonna be whatever. I don't know what we were thinking, but we had to go. So we got the tickets, and we weren't really sure how we were gonna go to that concert because just a couple of weeks before we went to a Demi concert, which was also in LA. So most of our money was going towards that because like we're really big, really big Demi fans. Like, we convinced each other. We were like, okay, we're gonna go. It was set. It was literally 2 days before the concert. My grandma goes into the hospital. And I was like, if my grandma's in the hospital, like I can't leave her. Like I have to stay here. And thankfully she got out like the day before. So we always go on Greyhounds, or if not, we rent cars. And this time we were going to go on a Greyhound. And we were like, okay, let's go to Greyhound. We reserved our ticket. And we were going to go pay our tickets at 7-Eleven. And the payment wouldn't go through. It would tell us that we couldn't pay. It turns out that the tickets were canceled. And we were like, what are we going to do? We already told, because we have a friend that lives in LA. We were going to go stay over, and she was going to go to the concert as well. And we were like, we already told her. What are we supposed to tell her now? So the next morning we go to the Greyhound. It was like opening time, which I really don't remember what time it was, but it was early. And we were like, we don't know what happened to our tickets. The Greyhound guy at the desk, he was like, oh, well, there's nothing that we can do because the tickets on the app are different to the ones that we have here. Something like that. The only thing that you can actually do is that you can go ahead and buy another set of tickets. So anyway, we were like, okay, let's do it. So we got our tickets. We get to LA. We get there on time. Okay, but once we get there, we find out bus from the Greyhound station. We're gonna try to take it to her house. None of us had ever lived in LA. We more or less knew how to get to her house, but we never knew like the bus route. We got on and we paid, and we didn't get lost, but we got off on the wrong exit, so we had to walk. She lives really close to the Staples Center. So that was like our key point. We were like, if we get to the Staples Center, we'll make a tram to her house and we'll be okay. We were walking through the streets and the sun was going down, and we were like, what are we doing? And we got finally to the Staples Center. We got to the Staples Center and we got to the tram. And we go back to her house. It was the day before we get to her house and they're not home yet. So we have to wait for our friends. And okay, we get inside. We talk for a bit. A friend that lives in LA had a ticket, but she wanted to get general admission tickets, and she bought it online. But the only thing is that she had to go print it out. It was like a ticket that you had to print out. So we walked to the library. We went ahead and we printed out her ticket. And this is the day of the concert. All of a sudden, we were like waiting for the bus to go to the venue. We were waiting, and she was probably like 12 years old. This little 12-year-old comes from behind my friend and takes her cell phone like out of her, like she rips the cell phone out of her hands. And my friend was like, she just started yelling. She's like, no. And we turned around and she was running after the little girl. And I was like, run. And we started running after her. And we were like at a little shopping center. And once we got out of the shopping center, we saw that our friend was on the floor, and we were like, thinking of the worst things. We were like, oh my gosh, she probably like the little girl pushed her or something. Like we were like, we don't know where we are. Like anything could have happened. She gets up and she's crying. We're like, are you okay? She's like, I'm fine. It's just that like my legs gave up. Like I couldn't run anymore. And we were like, it's fine, you're okay. And we took her back. It was very traumatic because nothing like that had ever happened to me before. Really scared. I was really, really, really scared. And we call her mom, and she's like, just get back home. Like, I'll go ahead and like we'll see what we can do. So we walked back to her house, which was like really, it was so close to the shopping center. Like it was probably 2 blocks away. So we walk back to her house and we go inside, and like anyway, she's like, I still want to go to the concert. So we went to the concert. Her mom drove us. Her mom drove us over to the venue. We finally got there. Like I don't know, being there, I think for me was like I had been so stressed about my whole grandma, the whole money situation, everything, that literally I had never cried so hard at a concert ever. And that was so strange to me because I wasn't even the biggest Five Sauce fan, but I was like I couldn't stop. I was sobbing. Like I feel I feel like once I got there, I like released all my stress, and that made me start crying because I literally couldn't stop. And my friend would turn around and she would laugh at me because I would be the type of person to cry like that at a concert. Like I wasn't even singing, I was screaming the lyrics out. Overall, the concert, it was a very good concert. I really liked it. They played a lot of songs that I love. Um, but yeah, it was it was quite an experience. And after that, like I learned my lesson of don't walk like looking at your phone. Like pay attention to your surroundings. 'Cause that was bad. That was like traumatizing. I felt like that was a good story that I could tell you guys. A good experience that came with something that I learned. I have some other stories, I'm pretty sure, from other concerts. I can go ahead and tell you guys those too. I have other stories of different places that I've been to, that I've traveled, and that I've fallen in places where I shouldn't have fallen. I have a lot of stories. But I've been to a Justin Bieber concert. I've been to a One Direction. I've been to 2 Demi Lovato concerts. If you guys would like me to talk about those concerts too, go ahead and either tell me on Twitter, leave a comment down below. Anything, go ahead and leave my social media, like always, in the description, all my social media, because it turns out that I do have more things than just a Tumblr and Ask and a Twitter. I also have a Snapchat, I have Instagram. I'll just leave all that down below. Go ahead and check that out. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Take care. Bye, guys.